Alright, well, for this kind of a topic, it really sucks having to redo this, but I didn't have my mic on for a pretty much 40-minute video. Hopefully we can shorten it on this. Um, this is not really, I'm not, I'm okay, I'm perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong like that. But where I'm currently sitting at in life, I need to make some changes career-wise. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to give you a little bit of a situation of that I'm currently in. I'm 22 years old. I'm married, have been for going on 4 years. I have two wonderful daughters, and they are my everything. That is the one part of my life that I'm perfectly content with, perfectly happy with, and have no issues with at all. I work, for those of you that don't know, I work for an internet or just a general service provider. I don't say the name of them for social media policy reasons. If for some reason something on here offends them or makes the company look bad, they can fire me for it. So for that reason, I don't ever tie myself to that company on here. So theoretically, I don't work for them, but I work for a service provider. I am a business slash commercial, however you want to word it, technician. Probably the youngest one in company history. I'm only 22. I've worked my way up through it. Really, really fast. The opportunity's there for you. My job basically consists of, on a daily basis, I punch in. My area coverage is a lot larger now because I am commercial. My area is like 6 different counties. I average like 150 to 200 miles driven a day. Uh, it's 40 hours a week. I usually get, a little bit of overtime every week just because that's the nature of the job. Punching out time comes and I'm not done fixing something, I don't just leave. I have to finish. That's part of it. I mean, technically speaking, technically speaking, they can't force me to stay, but obviously it's one of those things where you're not just gonna leave somebody hanging like that, especially it's not that big of an inconvenience, usually. And so the my job pertains to, I'm mainly troubleshooting. If the internet or phone or something like that goes down, I'm the guy that shows up to fix it. I occasionally do the installations as well. I'm going to get too in detail as to why I usually don't do those because it'll probably give it away who I work for. Even though I'm not physically saying who I work for, I'm going to do my best to stay detached from that. The company's not some, horrible company. There's no labor laws being broken. And I'm not in a horrible shape. People absolutely have it worse than I do. They pay for where I'm at. I actually have a pretty good paying job, and that's honestly the problem. Is it pays just enough to where you're stupid to quit, and you end up trapped. And that's what sucks the most about it. Is like my job itself, the physical requirements of it aren't anything over the top. I do go up poles, run aerial lines from a pole to a building. I go in attics, I go in crawl spaces, so that may be why they pay a little bit more. I basically go in all the same places an HVAC person goes, heating and air. I just don't do near the work that they do. Those people work way harder than I do. Um, my job is not difficult in any way, shape, or form. Where the frustrations and struggles with my job come in are on the and decision making, the direction the company's headed, stuff like that. The company is fine. Um, it's just for me personally, things aren't as good as they used to be. There was a point in time where you didn't mind everything that came with it because the job itself was not bad. Um, but the problem I'm running into, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, is I feel like I'm stuck in a rut with my career. Um, Not at all what I want to do. I've always been good with computers. A lot of us in gaming are, especially if you play PC. Most people build their own PCs. I'm not internally good with them. Well, I am internally good with them now, but like that wasn't until recently. But my entire life, I've been just really good at picking things up with it and always enjoyed it. So I figured technology field would be somewhere I'd end up. Still may be. So like, but the job I have makes sense, I guess, if you know the type of person I am. Uh, with like skill set wise, I guess you could say. The problem is I feel like I'm limiting myself pretty significantly. And I'm gonna do my best not to sound arrogant here. I'm not an arrogant person. Now on video games or something, if you think you're better, talk trash. It's fun in video games. Point of it. You get into arguments with your buddies, like, "Oh, you suck, man. I'm so much better than you." Whatever, however you word it. No one physically says that specifically. I hope not, but um, just sounds stupid at that point. But that being said, like, I don't want to come off as an arrogant person. I'm sure there are tons of you that can relate to exactly what I'm about to say. Is I feel like my capabilities, I've always learned everything quickly. I was almost always a straight A student. I graduated technically with a GED. That's a really long story I'm not going to get into as to why I ended up having to cut that short and do that. That being said, it was all college-ready scores. I've got 2 semesters of college under my belt already. I say already, but I'm behind if you're looking at that. But like for somebody that wasn't even going, I've already got 2 semesters done, but this isn't consistent. I stopped again. So, but I've always picked up things fast. You show me once, show me twice, I've got it down. It's the way I've always been. I learned the first time I do it. And I feel like for myself personally, the type of job that I have, I don't feel like I'm being utilized to my personal, what I feel is my full potential. I don't enjoy it either. It'd be one thing if, yeah, obviously I could do more, but I love my job. It's not the case. I don't love my job at all. I hate my job, but it's more so because of what I'm interested in, what I feel like I can do, what I feel like I have to offer. I just don't feel like I'm doing it, and this is something that's been going on pretty deeply for the last few months. Has been crossing my mind a lot. I've been expanding my I don't know what the word here, I guess knowledge or whatever, on a bunch of different fields of stuff I've never even thought to take interest in. Some sciences, some social stuff, some historical stuff, just a bunch of different things. And it's really opened up my mind to what all is out there for me, for everyone. And that's what it really puts another meaning to that you can do whatever you want, that you can do anything is a better word. You can do anything. You really can. It's just you are your only limits. And I'm not trying to sound corny or cheesy or anything like that. But I mean, it's true. When you start looking at all this stuff, like what I'm, we'll get to that in a second. Basically, what I'm getting at is my job. I'm not. It's the one part of my life I'm not happy with. I'm not happy with my career at all, and that's the problem. Is I feel like I'm in a unique position where I'm 22 years old to change it. I don't want to end up being one of those people. And if you're one of these people, stuff happens, but I don't want. If I can prevent it, I will. I don't want to be one of those people at 30 years old that suddenly changes careers, or in worst cases, some people even later than that. I don't want that to be the case, and I feel like if I don't act fast and make some changes, I'm gonna be looking back 30 years from now, retiring from where I'm at, and not being happy with what my decisions ended up being. And ultimately, after doing some soul searching, I may end up deciding to stay here. But I'm not quitting by no means. If the path that I take is still years from quitting this job, because I'd have to go to school or something like that. So by no means am I quitting my job. That's not it at all. But what I'm getting at is I've got my family, that portion of my life locked down. I'm happy. The words can't describe that side of things on how happy I am with that. My problem comes with I feel like I'm wasting every single day of my life with this job. And for those of you that have kids, you'll understand what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't, you may have something else in your life that you can relate that also helps you see this. It doesn't have to be like a physical living thing that makes you feel this way. Just be a hobby or something like that that makes you feel this way because you're missing out on it. I want the second I had kids, time started flying by so much faster than I wanted it to. Now time went by quick, and everybody says that, but my oldest just turned 3 years old, and my youngest, but I only have the two. My youngest daughter, she is about to be 1 in 2 months, and I feel like she's only 3 4 months. 3 4 months ago, my wife had her. Is what it feels like. My 3 year old, I feel like it's only been like a year and a half. Like, sorry, I said coming off of 30 minutes of doing this without my mic on. And I feel like it's just going by way too fast for what I'd like it to. And I feel like the primary cause of that is just this job that's sucking the life out of me. And it's not, like I said, I know I don't have a hard job. I don't have a bad job or anything like that. It's just for me personally, I'm nowhere near to a point where I get complacent with where I'm at. I want more for myself and my family, and I feel like I owe it to myself to at least try. Um, Basically, what I'm alluding to is I don't know. I've got some soul searching to do between now and potentially next semester, which would be springtime. We plan on moving around then. I want to try and move back to what I consider my home state of Texas. So I may try to wait till fall of next year before I take any initiatives. Um, but I've got a lot of soul searching to do. Personally, try and figure out what it is I want to do. Um, and I may still end up deciding something that's something to do with this job specifically, but I doubt it, and I just I need to make some changes. And one of the first ones that I need to make is, unfortunately, and this is why, like, this is a good thing for me as a person making this decision for myself and deciding to go through and try to figure out what it is exactly I want to do and try to make those changes and have that drive to do it. But the reason this whole video comes off with a sad feeling or upset feeling is because what's going to take a hit from it is this: YouTube. This is something I've done since 2011. If I think 2011 is when I uploaded my first video, something like that. 8 years, and a year off here, a year off there, but I've always loved doing this. And if I could have it my way, perfect scenario, and that's what I said, this cheesy background here, this whole point is because of the fork in the road that I'm running into right now. That's the whole point in all of this. But if I could have it my way, this channel took off, I do this full time, and then that'd be great. But the problem is with YouTube, no matter how hard I'm somebody that likes to be in control of whatever circumstance that I'm putting myself into, and YouTube is something that has literally no control over it. Sorry, like I said, throat's dry. This is second take doing this. And I'm not editing any of it either. So YouTube's something that you cannot succeed without trying, working, and then striking luck, and then your channel explodes. It's how it works for just about everybody. Everybody's story of how they made it big. They tell you, keep working, keep trying. We did it for years. This is not me trying to turn you away from YouTube at all, because your likelihood is still very unlikely, even if you work really, really hard at it. But the argument for working really, really hard at it is that it's not going to happen at all if you don't. And so that's your only option, is to work really hard at it. And if it's something, you got to keep hoping. And for me personally, so like I said, there's a lot of things I want to do in my life. And I want my kids to be able to enjoy and experience along with my wife. I want to go, everybody wants to travel. Just about everybody always says they want to travel. I want to go to Colorado, I want to go to Nevada, Vegas. I want to go to Vegas, I want to go to Cali, I want to go to Florida, all over the place. Like, I want to go to those places too, but I want to go to New Zealand, I want to go to Scotland, I want to go to Greece, I want to go to Rome, Japan, all over the world. I want to see all these places, and I don't want to wait until I'm retired and that be the only scenario where I can do things like this. For those of you, to kind of get a grasp as to what I'm talking about on a bigger picture scale, I want you to pull up Google Maps, and you don't have to do it right now, just whenever you think about it, it's something interesting to do. Go to Google Maps and start zooming out slowly. And just start looking. Every time you zoom out another section, just look around that area surrounding you. And whether it be your town that you feel is a large town or a large city, you live in New York City, and massive, one of the hubs of the world. just zoom out all the way. You can even go as far as your state, how big you think it is. Keep zooming out and keep focusing every time you zoom out as to what all else gets added until you've zoomed all the way out. And the reason I say this is until you can truly realize how small you are in your town is, or your city, or what have you, your state, there you can't truly appreciate how much more is out there. There's so much more to be seen, and if you stop and think about it, there's people that go their entire lives without ever leaving. Some people ever leaving their surrounding counties. Where I'm at right now, I run into that a bunch of people that just never left ever. I know people personally that have never left and went anywhere, and I just I've been to a significant amount of the U.S. and that alone has been a great experience for me every single time because I think you should see these other places and see these other how other things work, and it's great to see it on video. It's great to see, read about it, hear about it, but to physically go somewhere else, I feel like to me that is probably the single most important experience outside of my family and experiencing watching my kids grow and spending my life with my wife, stuff like that. That is obviously going to take precedent, regardless of what your religious beliefs are. If you are a religious person like I am, that side of things also very important. But that's not what we're talking about here. The next most important thing for me in my life is I hold it at such a high priority, and I'm not even started on it. I've not gotten to go, which I guess you could say I have with the U.S., but seeing and exploring what we have here. I mean, there's so much out there that I want to go to, that I want to see, that I want to experience, and I don't want to wait till I'm 50 or 60 and retired and then go. I want to have a huge head start when I get to that point where I've been to a lot of the main places and I'm still going to more. And I I want to do that. That's something I strive for, something I really, really want to do. But in order to do that, you need to be I want to be at a job where I don't dread waking up every day, getting ready for work and leaving. And when I get to work, trying to get to the end of the day and going home. It is so difficult to find a job that you love. Very, very few people have it. The saying goes, find something you love, and if you do it for work, it's not working, or whatever the saying is. I butchered it, whatever it is. But if your job is something you love, it's not a job. In other words, something like that. You get paid to do what you love. So rare. So if you have that, I think you need to truly pay attention to it and realize how lucky you are. And I want that. I want to find that, and I feel like I'm in a position right now where I need to make some changes in my life to set myself on that path to get myself there. And I might be 5, 6 years removed from even starting it right now. And that's why I said I'm 22. I feel like I have that opportunity to where if I am 4 years away from it, I'm 26 when I get to start. That's fine. Or 6 years away, I'm 28 when I get to start. That's fine. I don't want to wait until I'm 30, 40 years old and suddenly changing and deciding and then starting the process that's going to take me another 4 or 5 years to even get into. And what I'm alluding to is whatever I end up deciding to do, my time and my focus right now needs to elevate on my soul searching, trying to figure out what I'm doing. I know that a lot of this sounds cheesy and corny, and I'm sorry, but it's just where I'm at in life right now, and it's something I've been dwelling on really, really deeply, actually. And I've not even talked to my wife about this yet. I'm probably just going to tell her to watch this video, and then we can discuss it after the fact. So it's something I've been dealing with, something I've been thinking about lately. And in order to do that, there's 4 things that are happening. So one right off the bat is my family. I need to have time set aside with my family. I do that already. Probably could do a little bit more, obviously, because I come out here and do this. But family takes precedent to everything. Making sure I'm there. The next is my job, even though I don't enjoy it at all. It's a necessity, and it's for monetary reasons I have to have it. And then the next would be going to school or whatever the process is to get the wheels rolling on the job that I want ultimately for the rest of my career. And that's going to take a lot of dedication and effort as well. And the last thing would be YouTube. How much I do this, how much I enjoy streaming, and all of that. Like I said, if I could have it my way of those four things, I've got to get rid of one. Family's a surefire lock. That's obviously not going anywhere. That's where, like I said, I only have time for 3 out of 4 of these things. That's one that's not arguable. So the next comes to my work, pursuing a better career in YouTube. And what it comes down to is my work is required because I need it for monetary reasons, bills, I have responsibilities, I got to take care of my family, all of that stuff. Like I said, if I had it my way, I do this instead of work. If it made enough money to sustain that, it doesn't, unfortunately. And so then it comes down to, do I want to make these changes in my life to do better for myself and do something that I don't hate, I genuinely enjoy, I feel like I'm making a difference, I feel like it's supporting my family and putting me in a position where I can go out and travel and do these things that I want to do. The job itself doesn't necessarily need to be a traveling job, but I just need a few weeks of vacation, enough money to do it, and everything else. And so, if I can have that with a job that I love, that's going to require effort, going to school, getting a degree, actually putting time and effort and focus into this thing, whatever it may be. And then the last thing, I have to choose between that and sticking to YouTube. If this never takes off, 30 years from now, I'm retiring from the job I have, I'm going to look back and say, I can't believe I wasted that much time. And I won't say wasted, because these experiences are great. Don't get me wrong. I love when I go live, you guys are here hanging out, talking to me, hanging out. We get to interact and experience the games together. That's why I do Let's Plays brand new. I don't ever do Let's Plays on games I've already played, unless it's just a really good one that I want to play again. The experience is always different and new and refreshed, like Skyrim or something like that. But I try to make sure these games, like Horizon Zero Dawn or Red Dead or God of War, try to make sure these are new experiences because I like experiencing them with you all, especially if you guys haven't seen it yet either. It's just an awesome experience to be able to conversate with you all and be able to react to this together, and that's why I do this stuff. That's the interaction is what this is all about for me, and that's why I love it. And the problem with it is I don't want to look back, say that I spent all my time focusing on this and it didn't go anywhere, and here I am 30 years later, my kids are adults. I'm disappointed with how things turned out. Obviously, that side of things I'm completely happy with. I'll make sure that I enjoy that aspect of it. It's this side of things I don't want to sit there and look back and be like, I could have done so much more for myself. But instead, I put all my time and effort and focus into this, and I've come to this fork in the road. As I said, we keep coming back to that, to where, like, do I choose YouTube or do I better my career by going and getting a degree in something that I think I'll enjoy, as opposed to waking up and being miserable at a job that just sucks the life out of me. Like I said, it's not a hard job. I'm not complaining about it, and absolutely 1000%, I am complaining about it, but I'm not saying that mine's worse than anybody else's. I actually, in retrospect, probably have a very easy job compared to a lot of people, but one that I don't feel utilized and I don't feel purposeful and I don't enjoy it. I don't find any interest in any aspect of it at all. And so that's why I hate it. It's for that reason specifically. But it's necessary because it pays well and I need it to take this next step in my life. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And that's why, basically, long story short, YouTube is going to be the one of the four that takes the biggest hit. I'm not quitting YouTube, at least not yet. I hope I can find a way to keep it going. Um, you can still probably expect 1 or 2 streams a week. I'm gonna try to attempt to keep my podcast, fantasy football podcast, going, just because it's relevant right now. in my life. I'll be doing fantasy football anyway. It's another one of my hobbies I love. And all I have to do is talk about something that I absolutely know and love, and that's easy. Whereas streaming, like I physically have to go and take hours out of my day and make sure that I feel like there's an agenda to my gaming as opposed to just doing it. When I try to make sure I have these days and nights set up for me to come out here and make sure I output this stuff at a specific time. And I don't think with doing all this I'm gonna be able to maintain that. And so the best thing you can do is click the notification bell next to the subscription where you click subscribe. That'll notify you anytime I go live, anytime I upload anything. The other thing is go follow me on Twitter at IronFistVGP because I always tweet out when I go live, and that'll be the best way that I can give you confirmation that I'm going live, because I don't think with all of this I can stick to any kind of a commitment of a schedule anymore. And this is just going to turn into a hobby that I enjoy doing, that I enjoy experiencing some of this stuff with you all, and no longer attempt to grow at it. It's one of those where I've kind of accepted that it's going to be too uncontrollable. If it, who knows if I could, in hindsight, get to veer into the future and see that this was going to take off. All I needed to do is keep going 3 more years. Thinks that I didn't do it, but if that's not the case and it never happens, I can't take that risk and then not capitalize on the moment and the opportunity that I have right now, where I need to focus on, I need to put my time and effort elsewhere. And so this is basically me not quitting YouTube, but dialing back from it dramatically. Could potentially lead to quitting, but I hope not. I enjoy it too much, but it's no longer taking a priority, a precedent in my life over the other decisions and things that I need to do. And I hope you all understand. I would love your all's feedback, and any kind of feelings or comments or stuff like that that you may have about it. But I hope you all take the time to watch this. Those of you that are true fans will probably still be there when I live stream. If you are a true fan, I'm not taking it offensively if you don't show up. That's, like I said, there's no longer an attempt to grow. This is just an attempt to hang out, I guess, a place I can come hang out and escape for a little bit from the stresses of everything else. And it's going to be a stressful path that I'm choosing, and I know it is, going through school and all that. But I think it's going to pay off in the long run, and I'm going to be looking back saying, man, that sucked, that was hard, it was tough, but here I am at 28 years old, taking my family on a vacation trip to New Zealand and being there and being able to see something I thought there's a good chance that I may, and millions of people will never be able to experience in their entire lifetime, because they don't ever put themselves in that position. And I think for me, that is a priority for me, to go out and see these things and enjoy them. And I genuinely think it's an important thing for everyone. And whether you decide to feel that way, it's up to you. But I'm making the changes for me to be able to do that for me and my family. And I want my kids to be even more ambitious. I want them to pursue whatever it is that they feel they love, and I want to be able to be in a position to be able to take care of that for them, like send them to college and pay for whatever they need to get them to where they're doing something that makes them happy every day. And I feel like I was successful. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean you're not successful if you're not able to do that, but I'm meaning this is something that I want. It's a goal I have in the long run for not only myself but my family. And I think this is a necessity at this point in my life. And like I said, I'm sorry. I know this is coming off as really upset. I'm not in any kind of a bad spot other than career-wise. I just am not happy with it. But this is this is a genuinely good thing for me. This is not a bad thing. Like I said, things don't work out. I decide not to do it after going through the soul searching. Right back to YouTube, great. I don't see that happening. I don't see myself having the time to do it, and it's probably not the path that's going to end up happening. I think I need to figure out what it is I want to do first, and then I need to set my sights. I need to lock in, and I need to go for it, and that's what I'm going to do. So thank you guys so much for the support that you've given me. Like I said, it doesn't go unnoticed. You guys know who you are that are here all the time. I appreciate every minute of it. For those of you that watch this whole thing, Thank you guys so much. You guys really are the real ones. I can't ask for better true fans that I've gotten, and hopefully we'll see you in some of the future ones. I'm out. Bye.